Hey guys, this is Rashad, and today we're back reading Mr. Macky's Wacky, and we're going to be reading chapters 10 through 12. So let's get started. Chapter 10, The President is Missing. The next day, we had to go to school. Ooh, but we also got to give our oral reports. Yay! It was cool watching everybody walk up the front steps like the president. The kids were wearing hats, beards, suits, even ties. Even the girls. That was weird. The new kid, was dressed up like Thomas Jefferson. He bought his ferret, Mr. Wiggles. President Wiggles, with him in a cage. Neil told us that Mr. Klutz's office all day. Neil told us that President Wiggles was going to sit in Mr. Klutz's office all day and boss him around because he was the president of the school. Ryan got dressed up like James Garfield. He brought a stuffed Garfield cat with him. Michael dressed up like Herbert Hoover and brought a vacuum cleaner with him. Which president are you, AJ? They asked. I came glasses and a fur hat. It's a secret, but watch me blow the doors off of Andrea's oral report. After we pledged of allegiance in our class, Mrs. Patty's voice came over the loudspeaker. He told us Mr. Klutz had an announcement to make. Two very special guests are visiting today, he said. Dr. Carbles, the president of the Board of Education, will be here in any minute. He is eager to hear some of your President's Day oral reports, and I would like to welcome the new president of elementary school, Mr. Wiggles. The ferret belongs to Neil Crouch in Mrs. Daisy's class. Everybody started cheering. Neil, the new kid, took a bow. This song is called Hail to the Chief, came out the loudspeaker. When it was over, Mr. Klutz and Miss Patty were still talking. I guess they forgot to turn off the microphone in the office. Where's the ferret? I don't know. I thought you had it. I put the cage on your desk. I put it on the floor. Cage is empty. The ferret must have escaped. Oh no. Mr. Wiggles! Screamed Neil, the new kid. He totally freaked out and went running out of class. Meanwhile, Mr. Klutz and Mrs. Patty were still talking over the loudspeaker. We have to find that ferret, Mr. Klutz said. It must be around anywhere. How far could a ferret get? It could be anywhere. We'll have to search the schools. Lock the door, shouted Mr. Klutz. Don't tell the students that the ferret is missing. They might freak out, but it was too late. By now, everybody knew that President Wiggles was missing, and everybody was freaking out. Miss Daisy told us to stay in our seats, but there was no way I was going to stay in my seat with the ferret running loose. Those things look like long rats. It could be in my desk for all I knew. We all went running into the hallway, and guess who we saw here? I'm not going to tell you. Okay, I'll tell you. It was Dr. Carpus, the president of the Board of Education. What's going on in here? Asked Dr. Carpus. Unlike Dr. Spruce, he's a real doctor, but he isn't very cool. We couldn't tell him what was going on because the whole school was going like crazy. Kids dressed up like presidents were spilling out of the classrooms, running all over the hall, shouting and smashing into one another. Help! Somebody screamed. There's a wildfire on the loose. Run for your lives! Find the ferret! Mr. Macky was shouting at us, trying to control the situation. Everybody back to your classes, he said, and please remain calm. Calm? Was he nuts? There was a ferret running around the school. Somebody knocked over Dr. Carbles. The teachers were yelling for us to go back to the class. If President Wiggles was smart, he would find a good hiding place where he wouldn't get trampled by some kid. Meanwhile, Michael, and Ryan were sneaking around like Secret Service agents on the hunt for President Wiggles. It was cool. You should have been there. Chapter 11. President Wiggles reporting for duty. We searched all over the school, but we couldn't find President Wiggles. When we returned to class, everybody was looking around the room. President Wiggles could be anywhere. Poor Neil, the new kid, was really upset. If his ferret was lost, his parents were going to be mad. Miss Daisy said President Wiggles was sure to turn up and we had to get back to work. It was like time for us to give our oral reports. Little Miss Perfect Andrea got to go first. She was dressed up like John F. Kennedy. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. I had to admit, Andrea's oral report was very good. She told us that John F. Kennedy was the war hero, that he started the space program and the Peace Corps. He was cool. Exemplary, Miss Daisy said as Andrea walked back to her seat. That means excellent in grown-up talk. Wait till you hear my oral report. I'm gonna blow Andrea's doors off. Next, it was crybaby Emily's turn. She was dressed up like Abraham Lincoln, with a suit tie, big black hat, and fake beard. Emily's oral report was really sad. She told us that Abraham Lincoln was poor. There was a poor kid. His 3-year-old son died. His wife went crazy. The whole country was at war with himself the whole time he was president. And then to top it all off, a few days after the war ended, some guy shot him. Emily started coughing and rubbing her eyes like she was going to cry. For once, I couldn't call her a crybaby. The story of Abraham Lincoln was very sad. Andrea was crying, Miss Daisy was crying, then Michael and Ryan started crying too. Everybody was crying, even me. While we were all crying, the most amazing thing in the history of the world happened. The big Lincoln hat on Emily's head started moving around like it had a motor or something. Then in the front of the hat lifted little, and you know what was under there? I'm not gonna tell you. Okay, I'll tell you. It was President Wiggles. He was sitting on top of Emily's head. Eek! Emily screamed. There's a rat in my head. Isn't that a name of a Dr. Seuss book? I think Miss Daisy read us that book. It was cool. I think it just pooped in my hair. Emily totally freaked and ran out of the room. President Wiggles jumped off her head and ran away. Neil, the nude kid, chased him around the class. It was hilarious. A real Kodak moment. We got to see it live in person. Chapter 12. My turn at last. Just when it was time to give my oral report, Mr. Macky came into our class. Good, I thought. I wanted him to see me blow off the doors of Andrea. I took the report and went to the front of the room with my cane and glasses and fur hat. My name is Benjamin Franklin. I read from my report. I'm on the $100 bill. I've lived a very interesting life. I told the class all the cool stuff I learned about Benjamin Franklin, like how he ran away from home when he was a teenager, how he became a famous prisoner writer, how he became a famous inventor and discovered that lightning was electricity, and how he helped write the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, and how he turned 300 years old in 2006. Everybody was totally silent while I read my awesome oral report. I knew it must have been really good. I was going to blow Andrea's doors off. Nah, not a boo-boo on her. Finally, it came to the last line of my oral report. I looked up. Everybody was staring at me. They had weird looks on their faces. What's wrong? I asked. Andrea was the only person who said anything. Benjamin Franklin wasn't even a president, he said. Huh? I looked at Mr. Macky. He was sure he was going to tell Miss Franklin to keep her mouth shut. She doesn't know everything. But he didn't. Mr. Mackey said, Benjamin Franklin was a great man, but he was never president of the United States. He wasn't. I read a lot of stuff about Benjamin Franklin. It never said he wasn't president. I just figured that he had to be president. Why would he put him on the $100 bill if he wasn't president? I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I had to think fast. So the only thing I could say, I knew that I did only thing I ran out of the room, never going back. I'm going to Antarctica to live with the penguins. Penguins are cool. It won't matter to them what I did for my President's Day oral report on a guy who wasn't even a president. Maybe Neil, the new kid, will catch President Wiggle. Maybe Mr. Mackey will become a full-time big screen salesman. Maybe Abraham Lincoln will beat George Washington. Maybe Mr. Klutz will grow some hair on his head so I can write a Dr. Seuss poem about it. Maybe I can come back in time for President's Day next year, and when everybody will forgotten my dumb report. Or maybe I can find a way to get Benjamin Franklin elected President of the United States, even though he's been dead since 1790. But it won't be easy.